Hello all, I'm tribalkai and welcome to the new Magic Arena channel. You might have followed me over from the EDH channel, but I decided to give Magic Arena a try, and I've just bought myself, because I'm not very good at drafting, I can get myself up to probably the early platinum tiers and then I start getting hammered, so I kind of go infinite up until the actual good drafters come along, and then that kind of grinds my progress on a set and developing my Magic Arena collection to a halt. So I've decided to spend £100 on the, looking at my screen there, 20,000 gems, which is enough to get 90 booster packs and have a bit left over for probably some, looking over at these full art snow lands, so I think I'll get those because it's imperative that you have full art lands. Yeah, so I'm going to open up 90 packs of Kaldheim and we'll see how that fares us. We'll see what rares and mythics we get, how many wildcards we end up with, and hopefully from that point I'll be able to start looking into doing some 60 card format stuff. But we'll see what we end up with. Let's get straight through to cracking some packs. Alright, so here we are in the store here. We have the 20,000 gems there. We've just purchased those, as we can see. I already had some lying around, so we will go for 18,000 on the 90 packs of Kaldheim. And we end up with a couple of Realm Wakers, so that's some rares that we don't have to spend wildcards on. I think I might already have one of those, which would be good for the elf deck potentially. Might make a historic elf deck or a standard one. Anyway, claim those, and I think before the offer ends, I want the original unhinged. I think it's unhinged or maybe unglued full art lands. But the snow ones can tide us over in the meantime. Okay, and with that we will go over to the packs, and I already had one, so we've got an odd one there. Let's open the first one. Okay, and that's pretty good going. We open a mythic straight away, Halvar, God of Battle. So yeah, I'm very intrigued to see how many duplicates we get into. We can open them 10 at a time. It will just show us the rares and mythics here. We do still get the uncommons and commons. And we can see we've got a couple of duplicates there. I took a couple of these in some drafts. I think I took might have got a reward for that. I might have got that as a reward for winning a match, but yeah, anyway, Toski, really good. You could probably just build an entire deck around Toski, and maybe it can go in the elf deck as well if you can make enough tokens. These rare lands are always good to have as well. Don't really think much of Starnheim Unleashed, although I do want to make an angel deck as well. Probably a historic brawl angel deck would be really good. And yeah, another dual land there. The Giant Berserker, really good in the giant deck. I mean, this is a really good tribal set, so yep, open 10 more and see what we end up with. Alright, Goldspan Dragon and Vorinclex, so getting some really good pulls here. And yeah, that is good for the angel deck. That's really good. What was the new card that was spoiled? It was the new Boros, I forget the name, it was Strixhaven, Boros, forget the name of the new Boros coloured guild, for lack of a better term. But there's a new commander that's been spoiled there, 5 mana, and it cares about spirits. It gives them trample, +1/+1 and haste, I think. But Maskwood of Nexus would go well in that deck, so we might make that down the line. But yeah, Goldspan Dragon, really, really good. Vorinclex, really good. Calamity Bearer, I mean, yeah, we've got some good stuff here. Anyway, let's crack some more. Alright, some more awesome stuff. Another dual land. Elvish Warmaster, so all this is really good for Brawl, because we've got one of each. I know there's a really cool deck that you can make with Reflections of Lityara. Yeah, I don't know how many of them you need though. There's the odd card that you don't mind getting duplicates of, but if you get multiple like Magdas, then I don't know if we're really going to make use of that many of them, but we're getting some wild cards at least. Yeah, Alrund Epiphany is doing well in Standard as well, I think. Tybalt's Trickery, there's some stuff you can do where you can get Ulamogs into play and stuff like that, so yeah, ripping into some good stuff. And there is another Vorinclex, another Goldspan Dragon. We've got a couple of Mystic Reflections now. I keep pulling the Pirate of Heroes in. Keep pulling them in drafts and I don't take them, but I think I've been rewarded them a few times as well, so I think I've got quite a few of those at this point. I think that's a third Blood in the Snow. So like I said, we're getting a few duplicates, and some of them you won't mind, and some of them you'll wish that you hadn't pulled. That is not the one that Destroy is a permanent, that's the different one. Yeah, so don't mind a couple of Toskis, a couple of Vorinclexes, Goldspan Dragon. The Mythic wildcard is always welcome as well. Yeah, don't mind the duplicates there. Okay, that is the type of rare that you would want to see multiples of, because that is the type of thing that you might run a couple of, maybe two. I wouldn't have thought you'd play a full play set of those in a deck, but I haven't actually looked at the decks that you can run those in yet. Cosmos Elixir I have seen quite a lot of, and I'm actually very impressed with that. I didn't think much of it at 4 mana, but now that I've played against it, it is actually a really good card. Obviously in the life gain decks, where it's pretty much just a Phyrexian Arena. And then we get the dreaded Valky and Tibalt. I think this is a play set in some decks. I'm not very well versed on Historic and Standard. I need to get into that for this channel. So you can obviously recommend some decks to me to look at in the comments if you want to. Try and teach me a thing or two about this format, or these formats on Arena. Alright, a second Kaya. I took one of those in a draft and did surprisingly poorly actually, because I couldn't draw into it. Yeah, we've got some more duplicates there. Some more rare wildcards. A Tybalt's Trickery, don't mind having more of those. Don't mind having more dual lands. So yeah, let's try again. Only 3 more shots here. And I haven't looked at all the rares and commons yet. Okay, haven't had a Tergrid yet. World Tree is nice. I don't know if you really want more than one World Tree. That's really good fixing in the 5 colour decks, obviously. And then, once Strixhaven comes out, this might be useful in the Boros Spirits deck. I don't know how well we're going to be able to make Spirits with that, because a lot of the creatures that you play are humans and wizards and clerics and stuff like that, but the idea is to make lots of Spirits, so this might be decent in Standard, I don't know. That might be a playset of Toski now as well. Just one more round of 10 after this. Alright, there's an Orvar. Dream Devourer is the type of card that you want a playset of if you're going to play it, I think. Yeah, more dual lands. Can't stop getting into the Reflections of Lityara. I think we've had a few of these as well. Also, keep seeing Runeforged Champions. Yeah, good to see the Orvar. Good to have a Yawn. I don't know if I'll use it. Might make a Snow Brawl deck. But yeah, good to have the Orvar. Not too happy with that pull. Let's see if we can get some really good stuff in the last one. Alright. I really want to make an Angel deck, so Resplendent Marshal is really good to see there. And there's Righteous Valkyrie. This is the type of thing that you want to see multiples of as well. But we didn't here, unfortunately. Elvish Warmaster, again, want to see multiples of that, and we have. Dual lands, another World Tree. Crippling Fear does really well in Limited. I'm not sure how well it does in Constructed. I assume it'll be really good outside of, or inside of Elf decks and stuff like that. And Cyclone Summoner, really good in the Giants deck as well. So yeah, there we are. Let's go over to our collection and we'll try and have a look at the commons and uncommons that we got. Okay, so I don't really know what the good commons and uncommons are here, but we can have a flick through. Let's go for just the Kaldheim stuff. And we'll have a look at what we've got in our collection now. I don't remember pulling that. I must have pulled that before now and just completely forgotten about it, because I don't think I pulled it just now. Yeah, we only got one of those, unfortunately. Only one of these. Got a bunch of those that I'm not particularly interested in. Yeah, I don't think there's anything too incredible here that we're seeing. Let's carry on through all of this. Yeah, we've got ourselves quite a few play sets there. And like I said, not sure how many of them I'm actually going to end up using. A lot of them is just draft chaff. But it's good to have the play sets of stuff just in case you need it. We've got 3 Mystic Reflections. I don't know if you just build a deck around Mystic Reflection or if you can use it as some kind of weird counter spell. I have had someone use that on my Coma in my Historic Brawl deck, and that's a damn good way to deal with Coma, seeing as how it is uncounterable. Yeah, stuff like Behold the Multiverse you like having a playset of. Raven Form is, I doubt we're ever going to use a playset, but the more the merrier. It's good to have collections completed. I just ended up with 4 Graven Laws somehow. Yeah, maybe Bloody Berserker would be decent to have quite a few of. Yeah, we did end up with a load of Reflections of Lityara. Just the one Alrund's Epiphany, haven't pulled that before now. And haven't quite gotten into a playset of that. I'm not sure if you play a playset in the Elves deck anyway. Yeah, so I did already have some cards from Kaldheim, but the vast majority of them have come from those 90 packs that we just cracked. So it is just interesting to see how far you get to completing your playsets of commons and uncommons. I bet we'll have a bunch of uncommon wild cards now anyway. Alright, a Frostbite playset of those is good. Pretty much a lightning bolt. Only had the 2 Tybalt's Trickery. Yeah, if there's any cards that I'm glossing over here that I should be showing more respect and paying more attention to, then be sure to let me know, because I am new to the Magic Online formats. Apart from Brawl, I mean that's just Commander Junior, isn't it? So pretty much know what I'm doing there. Yeah, a couple of Goldspan Dragons is really good. Don't know if you're ever going to run more than 2 in a deck. And Quakebringer's really nice to have as well. Having a few Boreal Outriders is nice. That probably go well in some form of a snow deck. Playset of those is nice as well. I'll probably shove that in an elf deck at some point. Only the 2 Elvish War Masters that we pulled in all of these. Didn't manage to get into a playset of those for any form of a snow deck either. But again, I don't think this is so incredible that we'll end up using a full playset anyway. But it's only a common, it's easy to make the 4th one. And speaking of the snow deck, we know about the Yawn. We got the Realm Waker from buying the... that was buying the gems, wasn't it? Only the one a Seeker. I don't imagine we ever need more than one of those. And okay, a Glacial Floodplain. Ended up with a full playset of those. I do like that as a new cycle. I thought we might have had 4 Toskis, only ended up with 3 of those. Yeah, the more of these types of lands we can get into, the better. Don't know if we ever need 2 Vorinclex, but if we do, it saves us a Mythic wildcard. Yeah, and there's those lands again. Like I said, the more of these we have, the better. We've only got one of that one, but we do have a playset of Ice Tunnel and of the Snowfield Sinkhole, so we've done quite well on the jewels. Yeah, we did quite well on lands in general, really. I think we've got quite a few cards, ended up with a full playset of those. I have taken one or two of these from a draft, so I'm not sure how many of those we pulled in all of those decks, in all of those boosters even. Now, of the dual lands, yeah, that's good. We've got three of those. Full play set of that again. Yeah, we've done very well on the duals. I actually meant to say double-sided lands there, not dual lands. Still need a couple of those. Agar, yeah, good to have that. I mean, that's only an uncommon, so it's easy enough to get into those anyway, but we could probably make some form of a giant deck with the collection we've got here. That was what I was thinking. I thought that the Herald Unites the Elves was the Binding of the Old Gods. That is a really good one, and I only have 3 of those. I don't imagine we need more than that. Really rate this one from the cycle that you can search for an aura or equipment. Don't know if I'll use it on Magic Online, but in EDH that's a really good card. Yeah, the same can be said for Svella. Yeah, so we've pretty much got all of the dual lands, cracking all those packs. They are only commons, but it's good to... It would be surprising, I imagine, how often we'll use all of our commons on building up our collections and making the decks complete that we want. I imagine we'll run out of commons very quickly, so pulling them out of packs is always really good. Only one of those, unfortunately. Okay, getting into some of the artifacts. We didn't really get many of those, only pulled the one of these. But I have to look through all the different decks that are in the meta at the moment in both historic and standard. I don't actually know what we need playsets of and what we don't. Yeah, so it looks like after that, all of this stuff is stuff that we already had. So didn't get into another Rayhan, for instance. Yeah, already had a Coma. Didn't get into any more Finns, surprisingly. So yeah, didn't get into any more of the Azorius flip lands either. Anyway, yeah, I am pretty happy with what we got there. We got the 2, what are they called? The Treasure Dragons and a couple of Vorinclexes. They're probably a couple of the best cards in the set. And then I think we got a decent number of Giants and Angels as well. The Toskis are nice to have. I don't know if we got much in the ways of stuff for an Elf deck, apart from the 2-mana Black Elf. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with that haul there. It was always going to be varied. We were never going to fully complete a set with only 90 packs, but this gives you a rough idea of how close you can get to maybe getting yourself into a half-decent deck for the set that you're buying boosters for. Forgot to cover, actually, just hit record again. Would be an interesting idea to see which of the cards in Kaldheim, after opening that many packs, we don't still have. Because I have noticed that there's actually quite a lot of commons and uncommons, such as Youthful Valkyrie is one that we'd probably want for the fairy deck, or the angel deck even, not fairies. Yeah, and there's another one for the angel deck. So yeah, it's fair enough that you don't get into a bunch of rares and uncommons. You're obviously not going to hit every single one. There's a lot of angels that we haven't hit there, unfortunately. Doomscar is a really good one to have as well that we haven't managed to pull. But it's surprising the number of commons and uncommons that you miss. I imagine we'll be able to craft most of the things that we want anyway, but it's worthwhile just looking at the cards that we don't have. Most of them are, actually I'm not sure if it is most, I think most of them are the uncommons. There are quite a few rares and mythics that we haven't got a single one of, a single copy of, but yeah, it is worth noting that there's quite a few commons and uncommons that we're missing here. So I'll just flick through there, like such as Canopy Tactician is a rare, but we didn't get into Elven Ambush that we might want for the elf deck. And as well as we did with the dual lands, getting play sets of lots of those, we didn't hit a single Volatile Fjord. So it's just things like that are worth pointing out, I think, for any of you that are looking to sink the money into Magic Arena. If we go over to crafting and we just click on this, yeah, as you can see, I think I might have had like about 40 uncommon wildcards. So it looks like we got around 40 wildcards in the uncommon section, which we can use to craft the commons and uncommons. And how about the rares? I think I had around the 10 to 15 mark, so we've ended up with a further 15 roughly. And then as for mythics, I think I only had like 1 or 2, and we actually don't have all that many of those, even though we pulled quite a few mythics. So still only 9 mythic wildcards. Would be excellent if Magic Online and Wizards of the Coast would allow us to buy wildcards straight up, but that's never going to happen because they want you to sink money into booster packs like we've done today. Anyway, hopefully you all enjoyed this content and found it useful. I'm going to be uploading Magic Arena gameplay here. I really like Brawl because I've come from EDH and Commander, but I appreciate that most people will want to see Historic and Standard, so you'll have to let me know what you want to see in that regard, and hopefully I can get some play sets together that I need for the specific decks. If there's anything that you'd like to recommend, anything you'd like to see, then be sure to let me know and I'll see what I can do on that front. I am a total newbie when it comes to Standard and Historic, so you can guide me through that and that'll help me out. Be sure to leave a comment about it all in the comments section anyway. Leave it a thumbs up and subscribe to stay up to date with the channel, and I will see you all in the next one. I'm tribalkai. Thank you for watching.